distinctions. You know, I notice the differences, and I don't like to pick on different countries, but I always seem to notice the differences between cultures. And so I'm on the train coming to Bangkok, and it's a sleeper train. Now, the second-class sleeper train is sort of like a dormitory with bunk beds and curtains. Now, back in the States, we don't have these anymore, but in Europe, I'm sure train travel is still prevalent. So, anyway, everybody's asleep, and some Europeans wander off, and they come back, and after a while, one of the girls is looking for her boyfriend, and she can't find him. So she's panicking. So she's going up and down the aisles, and she's looking inside people's curtains, and the conductor of the car, he's telling her, you can't do that, you know, people are sleeping. And she's like, I've lost my boyfriend, I've lost my boyfriend. And he's saying, well, you can't, you know, look under people's curtains. So she leaves, she sprints out of the car for a little while. She comes back about 10 minutes later, starts lifting all the curtains again. And the guy's saying, you can't do that. And she's going, well, I lost my boyfriend, I lost my boyfriend. And so I told her, go look in all the different cars, go look in the dining car and see if you find him. If not, come back and we'll call the railway police because they're on board. So, needless to say, about 20 minutes later, he shows up with her, and he was just hanging out with friends talking in one of the cars. So the interesting thing is, the distinction I made out of this wasn't that, you know, that the foreigner was like, you know, doing anything wrong. The weird thing about it was the difference I noticed between how Thais would have dealt with this situation and how foreigners deal with it. Immediately, it was a panic situation. Thinking about what's the worst case scenario, you know, looking under the curtains, I'm assuming maybe she thought that he was with somebody else sleeping. Or the panic that was in her voice was like he fell off the train. Now, immediately we go to the worst case scenario. Why is that? Thais wouldn't have done that. Thais would have gone to sleep. He would have had to woken up the spouse when the person came. Probably they would have shown up after having a few beers. And they would never have thought of he only fell off the train or he's with somebody else. Even if he was, they would have, you know, jai yin yen, they would have relaxed about it. So the interesting thing was, the distinction I made was the difference between how we react based on living in fear-based societies, where we immediately jump to the worst-case scenario in most situations. So just something I wanted to share, a distinction that I made, you know, between the differences of living here and being back home. Hope it's been helpful. Remember, when it comes to panicking, there's always an option.